Do you ever struggle coming up with an idea for your next game dev project? Or maybe it's not about coming up with the idea, maybe it's about filtering through all of the crazy ideas that you have in your head. Figuring out which one's the best one for you to work on with the limited time that you have. Today I'm going to give you some tips to get through this process and get to that idea and start working on the game that you want to make next. Let's dive in. So the first step to any creative process is what's called the brain dump. You're gonna have to get the ideas from your head and put them into a usable, manipulatable format. You're not caring about whether you know how to do it, budget, don't care about any of that. Get the ideas that you have in your head onto some format that you can then process later. That can be any number of things. It can be voice recording, text that you've typed into some kind of a notes app, handwritten text. It could be doodles that you've drawn in a notebook, anything that you can think of to get those ideas out of your head and into a computer is going to be helpful. Once you've gone through the brain dump process, now it's time to make your first cuts and your first keeps. In this process, I like to have a broad brush. I will take out all of the things that I think are either too big for me to create, too out there, too complicated, and anything that I don't want to create or I don't think I can create, gone at this first step. So now I have a smaller bucket, much more manageable at this point. So now it's time to take these good ideas and whittle it down to the ones that I think are going to be the best ideas. At this stage, you're shooting for probably 2 or 3 picks maximum, especially if you're watching my channel here on YouTube, because you're probably a hobby solo developer. You're not going to have time to tackle anything more than that. Really try and be brutal here. What you want to do is not just think about which games are going to be the most fun for people to play, but also which games are going to be the most fun for you to code. If you're not having fun in this process, you're not going to complete the game. It's really 2 different things, right? You have to think of this as like some sort of Venn diagram where you have the player base that you're targeting and the enjoyment of the code that you're writing. And they have to overlap in the middle where you enjoy writing the code and players are going to enjoy playing this game. All of this stuff that you're doing here at this step is going to help structure your code to understand what elements of the game need to be implemented. At this point, you can also start trying to scope your game so that you know this is the game I want to create, and if I have other ideas further down the line, while they can be great, they may add a lot of complexity to the development process. Before we even start coding, it's important to really flesh out these 2 or 3 game ideas really good, just to get a grasp on what the game is. What game elements are you going to be building in? What's the theme of the game? What's the user interface going to be? And how's it going to interact? These are all things that are going to help when you actually do get into coding, because now you're going to have kind of an idea of what it's looking like. Plus, at the same time, it's actually really fun to go back and look at these initial drawings when you finally launch the game and see how it's changed from inception to the finished project. The B-roll that you've seen throughout this video was me actually going through this process. Yes, this is the next game that I'm going to create, and I'm going to do it on this YouTube channel. Get subscribed so you don't miss out. As always, here's a great video for you to watch, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.